unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right, people. All right, all right, all right, all right. Y'all know what time it is. Friday night. Friday night. Want to talk a little bit, fellowship a little bit, and do our thing. This definitely is live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All righty. All righty, all righty, all righty. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right, let me put my phone on silence. All right, my YouTube family. All right, my Facebook family. I'm live, uncut, unedited. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. All right. All right. What's going on, Bonnie Williams? I see you, Nathan. What's going on? Lee, what's up? What's up? Queen Lady, what's up? Kanika Rogers, good evening. Vicky, Miss Virginia Beasley, what's going on? Mika Jeffersy, uh-huh. All right, Sean, I see you, I see you, I see you. I see y'all, I tell you. Peace and blessings, my brother. Kennard, what's up, Albert? I see you. I see you, I see you, I see y'all. The truth. Tell the truth and what? Tell the truth and what? And shame the devil. That's the only way to know how to do it, people. That's the only way how to do it. We're going to get started, people. We ain't going to wait long. And again, we have another night of an open discussion. Really don't have a subject, but we can just talk about basically anything that you want. We could talk about carjacking. We can talk about relationship. We could talk about Shaquilla Robinson. We can talk about Brittany Griner. We could talk about sports. Oh, man, we could talk about a bunch of things. Whatever's on your heart. We could talk about politics. We could talk about religion. Don't make me no different. Come on in and call in. We can just start it off. I tell you. All right. Lula D. Hill, I see you. William, what's going on? I see JD. All right. Stevens, Darkins, I see you. I see you. Valencia Morris, I see you. Andrew Williams, live uncut. That's right. Stephen Aquan was at Dawkins. Marquette Park here. That's what I'm talking about. Live, uncut, unedited. Live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. All right. We tell the truth and what? Tell the truth and what? And shame the devil. Amen. Amen. That's right. That's what we do here, y'all. Church. 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 All right. All right. All right. Brother Williams said, talk about daughter and father killed on 81st and Drexel the other day, 2-year-old son left alive. We can't talk about that because I did post something about a depth investigation. Now, I don't know if that was a suicide or a baby daddy or I don't know, but we definitely can talk about that, though. That is, I tell you. Church Free Tabernacle, that's right. I tell you. All right, we could talk about that. The new mayor having intentions to get control of our city and youth since the parents seem to has lost control of them. Wow, that's a good one, JJ. All right, call in, sister. Call in 872-299-0808. Call in. I want to hear from you. Call on in 872-297-6389. We can talk about the mayor that's trying to gain control of the cities since the parents don't seem have lost control. It's amazing. I tell you, Lorraine Fletcher, what's going on? It's awful, boy. I tell you, it's a lot going on. Mo Bolden, what's going on? I see you. I see you. Jasmine Williams, shame the devil. Hey, I got that too, y'all. And I got this. And I got this. And I got this. So we can let's get it cracking, y'all. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. All right. Aaron, what's going on? Aaron Goodman. Ken Day, what's up, Ken? Call in, Ken. Tell us what you could. It's open discussion, brother. You've always had some good word. Good word, good word, good word. We got enough people to get started. Those that just got to come in, they come in late. And so be it. So be it, so be it. All right. Somebody said that, I think it was the baby daddy over there on 82nd and Drexel. It takes a village for real, Jasmine Williams said. All right. Justice for Antiana. Yeah. All right. Say, what's going on in this world, Martin? All this killing. Man, y'all tell me. Okay, y'all tell me what's going on. They say, you need a big mama. Yes, we do. We need a big mama, I tell you. All right. Robert Brown says, what about these corrupt politicians? When there's a shooting, they don't have any solutions. Wow. Sheila Rogers, good evening, everyone. What's the topic? The topic is open. It's anything tonight. It's Friday night, people. Friday night. And we're going to get it cracking, as the young folks say. We're going to get it cracking. That's the topic tonight. The big mamas are 30. Yes, they are. Real talk. All right. I'm ready. 872. Okay, what you say to me? Let me see what you said. She said, talk about what? Talk about how good it is that Herschel Walker lost to Warnock. Oh, my God. Call in. You talk about it. Call in. I'm waiting on y'all guys. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. We need more women and men that ain't afraid of their job. All right. Stephen. Deshaun Willis. All right. Patricia Jerks. I think that's what that is. All right. Nathan, what you say? Every time there's a shooting going on in this city, the politicians, they become silent, but not doing enough during election time when they are doing a lot of talking. Yeah, they're trying to persuade people. All right. Now, once I get to start talking, y'all going to want to call in. I know it. It's going to happen every time, but I'm going to get started. Why these young ladies think that they have to shake their butts on Instagram to be accepted? Now, that's a good one. That's a good one, JD. That is a good one. Why these young ladies, have to do that? That is a good one. But they're starving for attention. That's what that is. They're starving for attention, and that can happen when you starve from starving for attention, but it's negative attention. It's negative attention, people. Negative. All right. Live Uncut. I'm finna get started, people. And we're gonna talk. I'm finna get in my zone. So I waited on y'all long enough. I came with Monique. What's going on? Happy Friday. I see you. Monique, I see you. All right. I see you. I see you. Stephen, what he said, invest in the police department for more officers on the street and better training. Okay. Steve, think that'll help. Okay. They value attention more than respect. That's a good one. Okay. We can go there. Let's go there. All right. The so-called security are not keeping CTA safe. There's a video my friend showed me. They playing video games on their phones while some guy was smoking crack. Wow. Send that video to me. I'm going to make that video go viral. Send that video to me. Why do young men keep on having babies by wrong men? No, why do young women keep having babies by wrong men? That's a good one. That's a good one. But we got a lot of titles tonight. A lot of them. What's up, Donald Williams? I see you, bro. I see you, my brother. Bonnie Williams. Bonnie said politicians have nothing to do with this crime. All right. Janice, happy Friday. I see you. Jordy, the happiest Friday, Martin. Thank you so much. Tiffany, boy. Tiffany is a hard-working woman. But y'all don't know Tiffany Frank. She is a hard-working woman. She's a beautiful soul. She don't forget about the dead. She always, you know how we be all on the case about a person, then all of a sudden when the case go cold, nobody mentions the person name no more, but not Tiffany. Tiffany keeps us up. She keeps us up with that. Right. For real. Appreciate you. All right. What you saying up there replying to Barbara Petty? Barbara Petty, same to you, Queen. Okay. All right. These kids only care about views on social media. That is to be true. All right, I got me a call. See, I got me a call to just call in, and we finna get started. So I don't hear nobody complaining about somebody talking too long or next caller, because you had the opportunity to call in 872-299-0808, 872-297-6389. This is your opportunity to call on in. All right. Brother Albert said, why aren't the CPD visible until it's all done? Okay. That's a good point. Good point. All right, caller, you live, uncut, unedited. Come on, talk to me. 1506. You on live. Come on, talk to me.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm calling out of Michigan.
All right, Michigan. I got another caller too. Detroit, Michigan, the Big D? Is that the Big D, huh? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What's on your mind today? What's on your mind today?
You're welcome.
What's on your mind?
I'm thinking about.
Okay, hold on. I got another. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me speak to my other caller too. 6202. I recognize that you're on. Where you calling from, caller? 6202.
This is Lula. Hey, from Chicago.
What's up, Lula? What's up, Lula?
Lula.
Who?
Hey, I'm calling from Chicago.
Okay, hold on. I got one person in front of you, okay? So you can listen in. So,
okay, go ahead.
And I got the, okay, 1506, come on, from Detroit, Michigan.
All right. Talking about women that are married or in relationships with men that are on the DL. And for those of you who don't know what DL is, by now,
you going deep, girl. Down low on the down low, girl. You going deep, ain't you? You going deep. Ooh, girl, you going deep.
Something that needs to be addressed.
All right, now come on, talk to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So,
well, I got a friend, and she has been living with HIV for 11 years.
Okay.
And she found out because her husband was beefing with the guy that he was sleeping with. And the guy approached him and her at the same time. She didn't know what was going on. The dude was like, while you got all this stuff going on, you need to go and get tested. While you think you got him like you think you do, go get tested. And she said, get tested for what? And he said, HIV. She was 4 months pregnant when she found out that she had the virus. Her son does not have the virus.
Okay.
She took the medicine and everything, and she's doing fine. But I just wanted to speak on it because it's just kind of crazy how a lot of these guys are running around being secretive about their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And being in marriages, you know, in relationships. If you gonna swing both ways, tell the truth, because there's some women out there who will take you just as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be one of them, but there's a lot of them out there. Be real.
Yeah. Wow. Ooh, y'all clowning tonight, boy. I ain't mad at you. Now listen, if you're a married man or in a committed relationship and you swing both ways, man, wouldn't it be fair? Wouldn't it only be right if you let your lady know or something? Because you are a double risk. You having unprotected sex with your wife or with your female friend, then you're going into another man's back door, or he going in your back door, whatever it is going on right there. Brother, you are a high risk. You are a time bomb waiting to explode, brother. And I know every man and every woman know their appetite, but you got to give a woman a chance. You can't put nobody health at risk like that if that's what you want. And when you got a DL man, let me explain something about a DL man. Most DL men will kill you if they secret get out. They don't want the general public know that they are gay or homosexual. Now, let me just say this. You don't have to be switching. You don't have to have makeup on or lipstick on or acting like a girl to be gay. Doesn't want you to say that. You have gay, masculine men. You have, I call them homo thugs. That's what you have. Homo thugs. They thugs and they like men. They like boys that act like girls. This is real. Now, and I'm gonna tell you another thing, sister, too. I remember I was watching I think public TV, I think it's channel 11 here or something, and they was talking about HIV and AIDS and all that, getting tested and all that. You know, you and your partner go get tested. So I called in. This is what I said. I called in. I said, now suppose me and my partner, we go get tested and we both are negative, but I go out of the relationship and go sleep with a woman, another woman. So that test that we took a day before or 2 weeks ago is non-void. It's non-void. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? And they never thought about it like that way. See, I'm telling you, you can go get tested with your partner, but if your partner is dipping outside the relationship, it's still no good. You back to the drawing board again.
That's and Mark,
go ahead.
Just to let you know, a lot of men they're coming out of prison with HIV because a lot of times they are in there, they're in the system, and they're having sex with other men in prison. They get tested going in.
Who died?
Open out. They come home to their girlfriends and their wives, and they.
Hold on, baby. Hey, listen, 4093, we're gonna get with you. Just hold on, okay? Hold on, brother. I'm gonna let Detroit, Michigan talk, then I'm gonna come to you, brother. I know you're a new caller, just called in. Go ahead, my dear sister. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're coming out of prison with the virus and they're infecting these women. They're coming home to their wives and they girlfriends acting like it's been all good, like you just said, being a thug, living a thug life. It ain't even like that. They have a double life. And they come out and they're infecting these women. And a lot of people think HIV is a thing of the past. It's still prevalent. If you look right now, the statistics are on the rise again, especially in big cities. Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta is off the chain.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't even going to talk about Atlanta. It's like a third world country rate down there.
Well, you know, they call Atlanta the San Francisco of black people. You know what I mean? It's like the gay capital of blacks. That's what they say, you know.
Gay Mecca.
Yeah, that's what they say. But let me just hold on, sister. Let me see what my brother got to say. Come on, brother. 4093. Come on. Last 4 digits 224. Come on. Talk to me, brother.
Live uncut.
Yes, sir.
Live,
oh man.
Uncut,
look,
unedited.
Hey, I thought preacher, I thought something happened to you, man. I ain't heard from you in months, man. I ain't heard.
I say, man, I've been looking for the number, but I caught it tonight.
Oh, okay.
But look, man, now that's an interesting topic that sister brought out. Now, my wife pinned me down one time to look at a movie, and I tell you, everybody, and everybody, including people that are married, that are straight, they need to look at this movie called Cover.
Yes.
C-O-V-E-R. They need to look at that movie called Cover, and that'll answer a lot of questions.
Okay.
People that go to church, people that don't go to church, they need to watch that movie. They need to get them some popcorn and some soda and some ham sandwiches and sit down and watch that movie and bring some of them other people there with and say, I want y'all to know that y'all ain't pulling that move on me. Because now what you said, maybe these people will, you know, because I'm not the persuasion actor, Brother Martin. I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
Now, when I say I'm honest, I ain't naive to it. But, man, I just can't believe that a man would be involved in this kind of stuff. Now, people used to get some type of fascination because they claim that women, women, all this kind of stuff. But, I mean, if a man probably maybe has some experience with it, you say, now I can't continue to do nothing like this here. But, you know, from what I understand, they're doing it. Now, somebody needs to uncover it. because I mean this movie right here cover that will answer a lot of questions as to what people don't understand about this lifestyle. Now I'm just saying that's what it did for me, because these were successful people. These were people, and one man told his wife, he said, "Honey, you know this ain't nothing but a marriage of convenience." He told her, and I'm still sitting up here wondering, you know, what is he talking about? And then my wife said, "Remember when he said this here? Remember when he said that? And remember this right here? All that's in the movie." So if you really want to know about this, there's a movie out there. It's been out there for a long time. They wrote a book on it, but then they turned it into a movie. It's called Cover. And the man that asked his wife, he told his father, he said, suppose I told you I wasn't who you thought I was. It's got a lot of head scratching things in it, man, but it's called Cover. I heard a lot of people to look at it because
it's Cover, like a COVE.
I mean, cover, yeah,
okay.
Cover.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you got something covered up. It's called Cover.
Okay.
COVER. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, go in the archives and get it. But push that movie out there. If that sister know about it, maybe she can talk about it a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna be on your list. What you saying, man?
Just hold on. Live uncut on in. Come on, 708.
Okay.
602. 6202. Your turn to talk. Come on,
Hey, Mark.
Hey, sis, I'm sorry. I put him in front of you. I'm so sorry. What you want to talk about?
That's okay. He made some good points. I'm going to piggyback. I have a topic, but I'm going to stay on the topic that she was on right there, because he made some great points about Cover. I've seen Cover. A friend of mine put me onto that movie, and baby, it is no joke. Do you hear me?
I got to go see that movie.
It will mess your whole up. Your whole understanding of and your whole train of thought. Because when to find out about the movie and everything, and you watch it all the way to the end, you will not believe, like he said, those professional men that are high up level, clergymen in that movie. You be outdone for real. You be outdone.
Wow.
You just never know. And I got into it. Me and my friend had conversations about it, and I was like, wow. I was in such denial. Like he said, there are big men that are in there that are big time professionals making big money, and they on the DL. They be. That movie is good. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
And like you said, a man don't.
Go ahead.
A man doesn't want he doesn't want, nobody found out that he on the down low. And some of the men in there, you wouldn't believe. He had families, come from good families, had a great family life. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And on the DL.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. Every man and every woman know their appetite. At the end of the day, you know what you like. You might have a woman on your arm and you're a male, but in your heart, you desire the same sex. And let me just say this for those that's in the LGBTQA family. This is not about bashing nobody's sexual preference, but we're just talking real talk here. Real talk. That's it. It is what it is. And like I say, I know a brother. Well, I don't know him, but I know the person that he killed. And it was a hairstylist that was a openly gay hairstylist. And he told the person who he was dealing with, he told his wife, sitting in the chair, and the wife called him, and he came up to that place and killed that gay man, killed him, so this thing is real. So it's real, people. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you, some of these so-called straight men, they will kill. They're not going to risk openly losing their families because their wife is finding out that they're gay. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that. They don't do that. And, and that's why a lot of you guys out here that is involved in that life, you got to be careful. You got to be super careful what you say out of your mouth and how you do your business, because you really don't have no business doing it no way, but then you running and telling somebody's secret, that's a dangerous thing too. And you got a lot of men in prison They play. They say it's in prison. They call it gay for the stay. Other words, you gay while you're in prison, but when you come out of prison, you straight.
What?
Yes. I think I got Dr. Sanders on this line here too. Is that Dr. Sanders I see? Hello.
Hey, you.
Oh Lord, Doctor.
Hey.
Let me sit back. Let me sit back. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
listening.
All right. Now, so what I'm trying to say is you have these men that's serving prison time. I don't care if it's 6 months, 3 months, or whatever it is. You got some men that they play. They know the language. Then you got these type of men that will go to a gay bar, go home with a gay person, sleep with them, and rob them and kill them. You got those that out there. Then you got those transgenders that's out there that's tricking men. Now, not all of them, but out there tricking men. You know, they living their life as a woman. They dressed up like a woman. They talking like a woman and everything. And the man don't know what this person's biological sex is, you know, because he fool. He might be a little tipsy and all that. So if you're out there deceiving men, shame on you. That's a dangerous game you playing. I tell you, it's like a Russian roulette. Some men will kill you if you don't reveal who you are and what you really are. You know, even though you might live your life as a woman, your ID may say female, but you have to let that man know. That's wise to let that man know. If he want to play, he gonna play. I just got to tell the truth and shame the devil. You know, this is not an easy conversation, but it's necessary though. You know, and I remember when I was coming up, you have gay people in the community, but it was just only a few. They really wasn't out in the open like that. You know, everybody know you hit an uncle. Yeah, Uncle Leroy, we know he gay, but you never see him with nobody or hooked up with anybody, but you know he gay, you know, so, and he was good and, you know, he nice to the children and all that. But then you got those that are child molesters that will mess with children, anything. I call them trisexuals. They'll try anything sexually, anything. So people, we just have to, and you know what, let me just say this too while it's on my mind. You got grandma. Grandma, you know that your son is a pedophile. Why are you allowing your son to be around the grandchildren like that? Why are you allowing that? And you know that your son is a pedophile and he can't be trusted around children. He's not helped. He's not fixed. I'm praying for him. Yeah, continue to pray for him, but he cannot be around children if he has that problem. Grandma, I know it's a family secret, but why should the children have to suffer for some grown person that's sick in their mind that's going to destroy a young person's life? I don't have, one thing about me, I'm not hiding nobody that destroying babies' lives. I'm not hiding nobody that's killing babies. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil. And this is real. And listen, they have in this society, they have normalized homosexual lifestyles. They have normalized that. You know, you can get married with the same. I think they just passed a law where that if you're married all across the United States, it's acknowledged, because you know some states really wasn't acknowledging same-sex marriage. I think that just came out. I think it was approved yesterday or today, one or two. So people, we need to keep up with the laws. We need to know what's going on. And I'm quite sure everyone that's under the sound of my voice that's watching me have some member in their family that's probably on the other side, if I may use that, in the alternative lifestyle. We all do. We all do it. They're in my family and more likely in your family. You just don't know. You just don't know. And like I said earlier, because they ain't out here switching, wearing makeup and lipstick and eyeliner, listen, you don't have to wear all that to be living in that lifestyle. That's it. You know, so you got some men are masculine like that. You got some women are very feminine, but they like women. That's what they like. And I disagree with the lifestyle, but That doesn't stop me from loving on them. That doesn't say that because you're gay or you're homosexual that I wouldn't rent an apartment to you, that I wouldn't hire you, that I wouldn't fix your car if I wouldn't service you. That's not what I'm saying. That's what you call religious and sexual preference discrimination. I don't discriminate against no one, no matter of their sexual preference, rather their lifestyle. I don't discriminate against, but I'm not in agreement with the lifestyle. You got to make that different, because most people say that when you speak against homosexuality and lesbianism, they say you hater, you're a hater, you gay bashing. No, not at all. We love everybody. We all are human. Listen, nobody have a hell or heaven to put nobody. Every man in this life had to give an account for whatever he or she have done in their own body. That's it. I got to tell the truth and what? Tell the truth and shame the devil. They got a lot of us afraid to speak.
Shame the devil.
Go ahead. Go Dr. Sanders, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
It's only validating that, Martin, remember that chapter 13, homosexual agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah,
I
remember.
Told you about it?
Yeah, I got it.
That was written by Michael Swift here in Chicago. You should add that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, people don't know, because they made it very clear in that manifesto that they are going to destroy heterosexual people. They said that the women complain about the men and how the men act. And what did they say, Martin, in that manifesto? You got it.
I got it.
It said that we know how to make a man feel good because we are men. We're coming through your schools. We're coming through your colleges. We're coming in the movie theater. We're coming. They put it out there. Michael Swift, the gay revolutionary, wrote that here in Chicago at the United Church here down on the other end near Bronxville.
Mm-hmm.
And that had been sitting in Congress for decades. But when Barack Obama came in, he ignited that. He was a token one to ignite it. Because you see what happened? He said, everybody, transgender bathroom. God, let me say this, Martin. A man is still going to be a man. But you'll never have a period or eggs. No matter what you're trying to do. You're never going to be able to birth children. You're not going to be able to get milk out. You're enhancing your body parts because you want to do something. Some of these real men will kill you because a real man don't want no man that's all over the border coming up on him. They don't like to be fooled. But that gay revolutionary made it very clear. Look what we see on Empire. Look what happened with Brokeback Mountain. They wasn't lying about what was going to happen because that's what they want. And this is why you have to really train and teach your children. Yeah, when they get older, they're going to make their own decisions.
Yes.
Some of them used to say, Martin, I don't know if you remember back in the day, they used to say, well, the reason I'm gay is because my uncle raped me or my cousin raped me.
I remember that. A lot
of that don't. And Todd Bridges, in his book, I don't know if you read it before, but actually when his book came out, Dana Plato, his co-star, because he was molested by his mother's husband, wasn't his father. He used to touch on him and everything when he was younger. And then he started feeling a certain type of way. But Dana Plato, in his book, he said, she showed me the love between a man and a woman. And you know, he's the only one that's left from a different work, from different strokes. So the thing about it, in his book, he talked about that because he was going out there, he was doing a lot, because his mother's husband turned him out. The thing about it, people need to start blowing whistles on this stuff. Seriously. Because it ain't no, oh, I'm going to change, well, I'm supposed to be a boy, or I'm supposed to be a girl. No, God made you what he wants you to do, but you're rebelling. You're rebelling because that's your choice to want to go that way. But the thing about it is that manifesto, everybody that is listening, Martin, need to read that manifesto. It's black and white because they hate heterosexuals. They want to destroy the churches. They want to destroy what God established. That's the whole thing. And they know this, but our people don't know. And other people don't know because guess what? They didn't know it existed. One of the bishops in Memphis, Tennessee, brought it up in his program down there. And I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "Read it." And when I read it, I was like, oh my God, because it's happening before us. You see what happened on Empire. They had a lot of men kissing men, hugging men. I'm like, oh my God, now you got the commercials out here. Now you got HIV commercials with two men kissing. You got all this stuff. You got two women. All this stuff is out here. But the men that want to be so gay so much, Earl Carter had brought a message in our convocation a few years back. And this is what he said. And I want people to get the point of what he said. He said, if you want to be a woman so bad, then you ought to have the privilege that a woman has. He set the house on fire with that. They didn't like it. He said, that means if you want a period, let it come out of your behind. Because that's what you say you wanted. You want the parts of a woman. You will never have that, no matter what changes you make. You can tuck the penis and try to get them to slit you a vagina. It ain't going to happen. You're not going to have no eggs. And a lot of them, Martin, they spend thousands and thousands of dollars. We're not talking about no one or two. They pay $10, $15, $25, $30,000, but your bone structure is still going to be that which you was born with. Yeah. Can't change that.
Let me say something, Dr. Sanders. Hold on, people. 872-299-0808, 872-297-6389. We're taking more callers. Feel free to call in. We're talking about men on the down low. We're talking about the homosexual lifestyle and all that. So feel free to call in. We're not bashing, but we're just speaking. We're just telling the truth and what? Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right. Now, like I said earlier today, we all either we know someone or we all have family members that are in their life. And I have them in my family and I love them dear. Trust me. But I do not agree with their lifestyle. And that's period. Hey. And like I said earlier, every man and every woman know their appetite at the end of the day. That's it. You know what you like. You can fool me, but you can't fool yourself. You're not fooling God. You know what you like. And I'm saying, if it's a man out here and you sleeping with men and you going back home to your wife and your fiance or your baby mama, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you for putting a death sentence on somebody. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve that at all. At all. You putting people on a lifetime of medication. And we understand that you can live with HIV and AIDS now. The medicine has modernized where you can live a long, healthy life and all that. But why put somebody through that? Why do that? Why do that? Why do that? I just had to ask that question. Why? Why? All right. Let me read some of these comments. Then I'm gonna I'm gonna let y'all talk. They call it feminine reconstruction surgery. I think when they get their bones and their face shaved down. Okay, that's what they call it. All right. All right. Now, all right, old timer. Come on, talk to me.
Yes, sir. Well, see now, there is everything what everybody said is true. Now, we've always been taught, that children playing with baby dolls when they're growing up, and because people starting to say now they knew that they were different. Well, I mean, they've been saying it for some time. Like if a girl is a tomboy, they say, well, I knew I was different when I was 3 years old. Now, it's hard for us to believe that, but we have to start watching maybe everything. Now, a lot of the stuff come from perhaps people staying over helping the teachers after school. See, we don't know where people really pick it up from because they don't really say. Unless, all the years I've been living, I really have never gotten into a conversation. Say, man, well, what happened to you? Can you, do you know what happened? Nobody really don't want to say.
Right.
And by being that way, it's kind of tough, but we know that they say that you watch for certain signs. If you see your child holding his wrist a certain way, if you see them holding their clothes in front of them, if they raise I've heard different things, now that the stuff is out there. And it could be that a person gets so far on, they just continue on with the lifestyle. We have to ask the people, what's going on with them. Because, we do throw the love thing out there. We love people unconditionally. And if it's one of our children, some people say, well, I'm gonna beat the black off you. And all this kind of stuff. We throw a whole lot of stuff out there that's not love. So we don't know, but don't make no mistake about it, they do probably have an agenda. They got an agenda, but it's probably for people that want to be in that realm, because there's a fine line that we have to walk. When you go to your job, it ain't time for you to talk about homosexuality.
That's right.
Anytime you get on the border of that job, the border of the job comes from the parking lot until you inside the place, inside the hospital, wherever you work. Anywhere on that perimeter, you are not allowed to attack anybody for anything. You only there to do a job. That's the only purpose that you go in there for. Now, if you want to be bold and say, well, God told me to say this, you do that. You pick your own poison.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line, at the end of that day, when you get off work and you get off the perimeters of that job, you can say whatever you want to say to people. But while you're on that job, you got to give them, you got to respect everybody.
That's
and
right.
people, I heard somebody say something about President Obama. President Obama can't make nobody do nothing. But you have to respect everybody as a taxpayer. If you run for office, it's easy for us to talk. But if you run for office, you better make sure that you treat everybody right. Because that person paid taxes. And the last time I saw, when the person turned 18, they can make whatever decision they want to make. You can't make them, you can't force them. And if they get enough votes to put that on their agenda, it's going to pass. So what you have to do, you have to ward them off. You got to stop it from getting to the voting ballot. And what we do, we sit around and talk about it. Oh, this here. And all the time, they're behind the scenes. Once you get to the voting stage and they put it on the ballot, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to get it off there. See, now just like they overturned Roe versus Wade, that's how you got to put it out. So you got to get people in there going to fight your battle, because that's where it's come through. It's come through legislation. But when you don't get out there, man, they're working behind the scenes, and those people pay taxes, and you got to respect every taxpayer's right, and you got to give them license to open their business. You got to do things like you're doing for everybody else, because you got some people living together that's not married. And they committing fornication, but nobody don't want to talk about that.
That's true.
You see, but they in sin in all kinds of sins. You see, but I don't mind. Everybody know homosexuality is wrong. Everybody know, people calling people names, bull, and all that kind of stuff. We know that ain't right to call nobody that, but people say these things about people, but you got to stop it from getting to the legal stage. Once you get it legal, man, you losing the battle there, because if you discriminate with somebody on the job, that might be your last day on the job.
That will be your
call
last
you at
day.
home and say somebody told you that'll be your last day on the job, because you say that God told you, hey, tell that person homosexuality is wrong. That person go to the human resource office and say, well, I feel my job is being threatened because the person looked at me funny. When they call you and ask you about it, then you want to cover it up and say, I ain't looked at them funny, but you did look at them funny. Because, see, you taking it to the job, what you got to do, you got to take it away from the job. We know what the Bible says. But the Bible speaks about all manner of sin, but homosexuality, we just have to figure out how in the world we going to get these people out of that sin. Because if we talk to them, we don't know enough I don't know enough to talk to him about it. But I do know that it's wrong.
Mm.
I do know that it's wrong. And it don't seem right for a man that he would do that. But, I can't say they're not doing it. And I can't say they don't like doing it, because I don't believe that God would give a man an appetite for that. But, I'm coming to find out, the more we see it, and everything out there.
And let me say this, doctor, let me just say this. I'll say this. The sister put a question. I said, do you believe that a person can be born gay? And my answer, I would say yes. And this is what the reason why I would say this, and I'm going to explain it. Hear me out now. Now, in the Bible, it said, behold, I was shapen in iniquity and in sin.
Born into sin, shaped into iniquity.
Right. Born into sin and shaped into iniquity. Shaped
into iniquity.
Okay. Now, look at this. What sin was we born into? Now, you got many sins out here. Now, what I don't believe is you born to learn how to put on lipstick and makeup. Now, that's learned behavior. You born and you start switching. You're a man and you start switching that's practice. That's practice. Now, you can be born. I'm just me now. Just me just saying this. This is me saying this is why I'm saying this. So certain things that people do is learn behavior as well. Now, when we all are born in this world, we are born with different appetites. The appetite may be sin. That appetite may be fornication with seeds. I would call it seeds. That's what I say. Because a baby is innocent, and in order for a seed to grow, it must be watered. So that's all I'm saying, that when I see a man acting as a woman, that as a woman, dressing like a woman, that's learned behavior. Now, he can have tendencies of acting like a woman, but when you putting on makeup and wigs and all that, high heels and all that is practice. It's just practice. It's practice. That's what it is.
One of my professors at Liberty University, she, in the human service class, the counseling class, she shared her own experience when she was growing up, because her mom was not there. And to sum it up, she said, I fell in love with my female teachers. And we were listening like, why? And she said, because the absentee of her mother wasn't there. And she had these little spirits now. People don't think the demons are real. Demons are real. I don't care what nobody say. The Bible talks about it all the time. And she got a little crazy at 18. So she started, hanging on to her female teachers. They would push her away. And then she was trying to understand how to love a woman. But it took her to go to a Pentecostal church and get the teaching of the word of God about that. And her and her husband are getting ready to retire from Liberty University as professors, because she explained what she felt. And not saying that she justified, no, but that was her experience, because she was learned love the wrong way. That goes to what you were saying, Mark. Because there are some young men, not all of them, but there are some young men whose fathers are not in their life. And they end up gravitating to men. And that's that demon, that devil. If we can get rid of the devil, we'd be just a better world. But the devil can get your mind messed up. And that's what's happening. That's what's going on. God is not going to excuse nobody. Nobody. You're an adulterer and you live an adulterated lifestyle. You're a fornicator, all of that. I was looking at a movie called Christmas with My Ex. And the lady that was in there, she said, and it was crazy because I had never seen it happen like this, but she said, how are you going to get married to a woman, but you left me for a man and you were loving on a man? I'm like, whoa, because there are a lot of women that find out later, you better know who you're marrying. Oh, God, you better know who you're marrying. That some of these men have, like you said, Martin, they want to be with another man.
It's
a lot of them in the religious world.
Oh, we see that all the time in the choirs. Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wonder why let's be honest, most of the top musicians here in the day in Chicago, and that little circuit with, one of the preachers that's dead now, Bishop, all them homosexuals ran together, especially over there at Clarence Cobb's church. Did y'all know that Clarence Cobb was hidden? Did you know about the Deluxe Motel, the Joe Deluxe Club, where they would go to on Sunday night? That's where the transvestites, that's where the lesbians, that's where the dykes, that's where the homosexuals. In Bronzeville, Joe Deluxe Club, they would go to church on Sunday, flip over pews, shot down, run down, and go to that club on Sunday night. That's where they had all of them entertainment. A lot of folks don't know that, Martin.
Yeah, let me say this, Dr. Sanders, too, as well. I want to address something. Mr. Hatchard, Vanessa, I think that said, replying to Nate, he said, I understand his platform. He had this conversation a while, and I just wanted to know what was an importance that this has been the topic of the conversation. He opened the door and have the right to walk in and ask questions. Let me just say this to those of you that probably wonder why I'm talking about. Well, I had an open discussion today, and the young lady brought it up about married men and men that have girlfriends sleeping with men that's on the DL, which it is a problem in the community. This not only, it can lead to diseases and things like that. This is not about bashing, but this is a real conversation that's needed to be have in this conversation. And let me just tell anybody out there, in this world, how you live is how you gonna die. Rather, if you be a fornicator, you can't be no fornicator and die married. You can't be no adulterers and die clean. You can't be no homosexual and die straight. How you live in this world is how you going to die. That go for me, you, and everybody under the sound of my voice just watching this right now. And I said earlier, no one have a heaven or hell to put no one. Every man is going to give an account to those things that he's done in his body, whether it's good, bad, or evil, right or wrong. You're going to give account to that. So my point is, we need to talk about this. Sex is between a man and a woman. Marriage is between a man and a woman. Anything outside of that is anti-sex. It goes against the very nature of sex. That's what we're saying. And I don't have to put, this ain't about no religion. This is common sense. Because tell me, can't no man tell me another man penetrating another man, how can you make that better? How can you bring another a child in the world? God told us to be fruitful and multiply. That's it.
Multiply. That's what it says.
So I'm not trying to come down about
whoever asked that question. Whoever asked that question, I mean, people gonna go on the defensive. So I mean, you can say, well, I mean, you can choose not to answer, but the bottom line,
there you go. I like
but there are some situations out there that people learn, and some people say, well, watch your husband, because women be saying stuff like, well, if he's treating her right, then it must be something about him. So they try to get next to the man and all this kind of stuff. We find out so many things when it comes down to how relationships can get torn up. So we have to be careful. But to go into for this person, whoever that was, asked the question. Well, I mean, man, the bottom is that hands on with a man. I mean, that's it.
And you know what? It can't no two. It can't no two penises rub together produce no child. That's just plain on. That stuff there is unrighteous, but it's also, look at what's going on. When a man, let's really talk about it. When a man puts his penis into another man's behind, you're pulling out that tissue that helps keep the bowel in. Now that penis going into another man's behind, you got bowel feces in there. And see, the homosexuals, what they do rimming. You know what rimming is? They take douches that women would use and put it in their behind and clean it out. Or they use a water bottle and they push it in their anus and they clean it out. There are faucet dangers died from anal sex. It's up there. Don't get mad at me. Go and tell the coroner they was lying. So my whole thing is, this is what's going on. Then when a man takes his penis out of another man's behind and enters a woman, look what you're doing. That ain't fun. That's not nice. That's nasty. And women's parts are just as sensitive because we have to have our cycles. We have to give birth to babies. We give life. We bring life with the help of a man. But the thing of it is that look at the reality of it. When you insert into another man's anus, you're destroying the texture. And a lot of that bowel that's supposed to be constricted in there is not going to stay. Now you're going to need a colostomy bag.
Hold it right there.
This is reality.
Hold it right there. We got a new caller. Hey, new caller. This is live, uncut, unedited, 7708. Where you calling from, caller? 7708.
What's up, Burns?
Hey, how you doing?
What's
how you doing,
up,
my brother? All right. All right. Come on, talk to us.
All right.
Before you start talking, before you...
Dr. Sanders, I mean, she getting graphic. She getting graphic tonight. She ain't lying neither.
Hey, Dr. Sanders, can I say this real quick? I need to say something before I let my West Side brother talk. I almost bust up laughing because I couldn't believe Dr. Sanders was so graphic, you know. But let me just say this. Y'all can call in 872-297-6389. If you can't get in on that line, you can get in on this line. 872-299-0808. Go ahead, my brother from the West Side. Go ahead. Western suburbs. Go ahead.
I want to answer the question of can someone be born gay? But before that, I just want to give a brief little story. I was messing with a young lady, and she came to me and told me that she's like, I just want to be honest with you. You know, I'm bisexual. And I said, well, that's cool, but now you with me, and I'm thinking we supposed to be in a monogamous relationship, so you ain't bisexual no more. Like, that's something you used to do, but if we're talking about being committed and monogamous, you telling me you bisexual is pretty much just telling me that you're not going to commit to just me. So I don't even know why you're telling me this, because moving forward, that's a past life. Because, again, if you're going to be with me for the foreseeable future, I'm expecting you to not do none of this activity. And so it's just interesting, like, if a woman is concerned about a man, I guess if you're going to download, that means he's still engaging with other people. But it shouldn't matter if he's messing with men or women. You shouldn't accept a man messing around with anybody on the side. Regardless of, I mean, he could still bring back diseases. You know what I'm saying? And so regardless if he on the down low messing with another man or a woman, it's problematic. See what I'm saying? Like, if you with me, you with me. You see what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what I was telling the lady. Like, I respect the fact that you go this way, but ain't none of that happening right now. We talking about being together. So I was at a training, a violence prevention training in Iowa, and we were talking about this stuff. And someone had asked me, they said, well, when did you decide to be heterosexual? And I said, I didn't make a decision. I'm just naturally not sexually attracted to men. And he said, well, it's the same way for gay people. And I never had thought about it like that. I never thought that someone could actually be born that way. I think a lot of people in that community downplay how much abuse is pervasive in their community, and this is how they came to be. Some people might have naturally, I guess, like the same sex, but a lot of it comes from neglect and abuse too, that don't get talked about. They just talk about kind of the more glamorous, happy stuff. But a lot of that community suffers with that. But going back to what I'm saying, I said I never thought about it like that because I'm just naturally not attracted to men. He said, well, it's the same way for them. And I started to respect that perspective. And then they talked about sexuality, and they talked about it on the spectrum. They said no one is 100% heterosexual, no one's 100% gay. And they said everyone kind of falls somewhere in between that. And this was in 2009. Now, in 2022, they're trying to talk about gender the same way. I'm just like, hold on. Back in 2009, y'all was trying to convince me and talk to me about it, and it made sense, and I respected it. Now you're trying to bend her and say that that's fluid. How is that fluid? You see what I'm saying? Like, they're constantly changing their definitions, and I think it's a community that's very confused, and they're still trying to find their identity. And in one respect, I want to respect what they're talking about because I'm not an expert, but every 10 years, a new cycle of some new stuff that they want you to kind of abide to and respect. And it's like anything we throw in the pot, you got to respect and accept. And it's very difficult to do that, but I just kind of wanted to hit on, can you be born gay? And something the gay man had told me.
Right.
I guess it gave me a different way to think about it.
Well,
but I just think it's just more stuff involved into how people become gay.
Dr. Sanders, before you say something, I want to say that. Now, I believe, and I told you a person that I believe that a person can be born gay, but when a gay person put on lipstick and makeup, that's learned behavior. When a person have desires to the same sex and want to switch like a woman, that's learned. You're not coming out of the room, right? It's an act, right, if I may say that. That's all I want to say. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. I'm so sorry. Right. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The young man was talking, and it brought to mind about this book that I found in the classroom last month. And, the students said, hey, Dr. Sanders, you read this book to me, read it. And so then I came across the book. And the book was talking about a little girl who changed her name. And I looked at the book and I'm like, these are the books you all were talking about. Because you have these authors that are writing books to change little kids. We're talking third, fourth, and fifth graders.
That's a curriculum
and
now.
They're pushing it in
Illinois.
It's a part of it. And then in Illinois, and CPS took us through all of these modules to say if a child wants to come and talk about them changing, you have to change it. No, I'm not. So now check this out. One little baby's in the schools in Woodlawn. I think I told you, Martin. The little girl, well, she's not a little girl, she was an 8th grader. She said, I want you to see my mama in her, what was it, Dyke Vision or Dyke something. I said, huh? And she wanted to show me, Dyke Nation. I said, Dyke Nation? I'm sitting up here trying to help her to read. She reading at a 2nd grade level in 8th grade in grammar school. And I said, Dyke Nation. I said, and I'm like, well, right now, I'm trying to get you to get this test, the study done so you can pass this test, you can graduate. Because her mother's on Dyke Nation. They got a group on Facebook called Dyke Nation or Dyke whatever. But it's a bunch, but the crazy part, the special ed teacher said this. Her mother's a dyke, but she keeps having babies. This is what's going on. This is real. So now they're doing, and that's my brother on the west side, this is why they keep adding names to their format. LGBTQIA. How many more letters are going to be added?
When it was LGB, it made LGB. What was it? LGB, it made sense. Lesbian, gay, bisexual. That was straightforward. You could understand it.
Now they got asexual, intersexual.
Right. Well, it's all confusion, people. It's sexual.
And you know what, Dr. Sanders? Real quick, Martin. So I worked in schools as well. And some people say in that community, they say, well, look, it's not up to you and it's none of your business. But I've been asked by students for me to help them come out to their parents. I've been asked by parents, is it okay if I can support their student when they come to school dressed as the opposite sex? And I've learned to not put my hands on any of that stuff, because when you align yourself and you try to advocate for the student when it comes to stuff like that, now you're asking me to protect them, because they're going to get bullied and all this stuff. And, and so it's not just their decision and their business, because you asking me to accept it and you putting my principles and morals on front line. And I can't do that. Right. I can't, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. I understand you, because you know what happens? The Chicago public schools, because of these laws, they have made a lot of the teachers and special ed class assistants and TAs, they're making them, okay, forget about what you believe. Let's support them. That's wrong. I don't like that, because now what you're telling me is that my right and my belief don't matter. Well, go back to the chapter 13, documentation of the homosexual agenda. That's where that's coming from.
Oh.
You are not going to believe in your God. We know that God loves us. We know what God going to do. And we're going to make sure. But in that documentation, y'all got to read it. It's telling you you're going to kill the heterosexuals. They telling you what's going to happen. And so now their group who have lawyers, who have they got doctors, everything. Howard Brown. What do you think Howard Brown is? Howard Brown is a clinic for the LGBTQIA. They're on the west side, they're on the south side, they're over in Englewood. And they go and they get treatment. They're there for treatment. That's what they put a lot of money into it. And so and they feel that if you say something and have your own opinion, we're going to sue you. We're going to hurt you. We're going to destroy you. They said it in the documentation. Y'all got to read it. You got to read it, not look at it. Read it. Because this is what's happening. But I'm going to tell you something. I stand for the Lord. And I stand for the word of God. For God I live, for God I die. Simple as that. Because you're not going to change me. I love all people. I don't care what you are. But you're not going to tell me, well, don't think like that. Think like me. I won't do it.
Well, let me say this, Doctor.
CPS ain't paying me that kind of money.
Let me say this. Before we go, 872-299-0808. Again, 872-297-6389. If you want to call in and voice your opinion, feel free. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, didn't know I was going to talk about this today, but that's what it is. So we're on this topic. I want to make a disclaimer. We're not on here gay bashing or whatever you want to call it, but we're speaking what's right, what's true. We love everybody, but I'm like this. The Jews can't tell me not to talk about the Holocaust, and the gay people can't tell me not to talk about gender, sexual confusion. They can't do it. I will not allow that. You're not going to tie my arms up. God gave me this is America. This is freedom of speech. And when we are afraid to speak on subjects like this, that's not right. It's not right. It takes away our freedom. And we're trying to, we're bringing some things out here. Just follow me, people, for a minute. If it's a young lady out here right now that has a spouse or boyfriend or husband, and she's suspicious of him going to the other side, being a homosexual. Now, by her just hearing this live broadcast, it might want her to go and take measures, go get tested, or have a talk with her mate or spouse or husband. So information is powerful, people. Without the Bible said, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Understand. That's it, people. You got to have the knowledge. You got to. That's why we are on the last of everything, because we don't have the knowledge. We have to have the knowledge about diseases and education. We have to have the knowledge. It's necessary, people. It's definitely necessary. We love all people. Homosexuality and lesbian is nothing new under the sun. It was back in the biblical days. It's here in 2022 right now. It's always going to be, as long as the world is in existence, sin is always going to be in existence. I want to say that. But next person, I'm sorry, I had to talk a little bit, but I had to speak with my mind.
Well, Brother Martin,
go ahead.
In the Black community, I don't know of a place that can actually push. Like you hear about this thing in Chicago called Boys Town.
Yes.
You hear about
on the north side.
On the north side. Right. See, but those people come right out. They have actual places. Now, our people seem like they can't get no satisfaction in our community, because we're not gonna have them to open up no community center like that. But those people, so our people go up over there. I reckon they go over there, but they get it from somewhere to keep it going. And I'm surprised I haven't heard y'all say nothing about the legislation that just pushed through, because it's been going on for a long time, like you said. But I'm talking about to where we know it. It's my understanding they said the Village People that sing the song YMCA.
Yeah.
I heard that they were supposed to be like that, but I didn't know that
Yeah,
when they
me
were singing the
Me
song.
too. Yep, I heard
I found out, according to what they saying, that those people, like, they come from out in the Frisco area. Frisco was supposed to be a haven. Now they're saying that Atlanta is a haven for black people to go down there and do stuff. But I'm talking about the Caucasian people, though. They can come right out and say that they're LBG and all this kind of stuff. And ain't nobody going to condemn them. When it comes down to black people, we ain't going to have this stuff. You might be like that, but keep it to yourself. But it's there. Now, I chose to say something about the movie Cover because I was surprised at it. But, it's a large contingent of us that's out there that's doing these things. And, we're going to have to combat it. And we, pray. Because they're not talking about praying. We got to fight the good fight of faith. We got to get it out the legislation bracket, and we got to put it into a bracket where you can't make it legal anymore. But we talked up to the Supreme Court. I agree.
Let me
the
just
man said he couldn't make a cake. Go ahead.
Let me say this up, old timer. I'll say this again. This is my stance. I don't believe because a person gay, bi, homosexual, lesbian, that we should discriminate them. What I mean by that, they shouldn't be denied a job because of their sexual preference. They shouldn't be denied housing or any of that, or service in any public sector or anything. So I'm not pushing that because and I understand that a lot of gay people in this country have been persecuted for their sexual preference. I understand that. I sympathize with that. But you cannot make people accept that lifestyle that you're living. No, I don't expect everybody to agree with my lifestyle. That you're not going to do it. Some people just not like me because. Go ahead. What'd you say, old timer? Old timer, you got your phone on loud, Mike.
Going in and out.
Yeah, you got to take your phone off speakerphone.
I'm going in and out.
Yeah, in and out. It's static.
No, it wasn't on speakerphone, but now it's on there. Now maybe my Bluetooth was causing it to go.
Yeah, maybe that was your Bluetooth.
Yeah, probably is.
Okay. I say they ought to put a law against sodomy. Sodomy is going into a person's rectum. Now that should be against the law.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying it seems like when you get to be a certain age, they pushing it. I mean, you got to find out how did this stuff get legal. And it got legal through the voting area. And
but that's what they had actually. They gave everybody a chance to vote against it, but especially none of the pastors, showed up at their capital, their nation's capital, to vote against it.
Can I ask a question about that real quick? How do you regulate that if that's an act that happens in the confines of your home? I could see if you get sexually abused, then people could, but how can you regulate a sexual act if it's done behind closed doors? I'm just wondering how you could regulate that to make it illegal.
The Democrats push for it. Republicans don't like it.
No, he's talking about sodomy. He's talking about sodomy.
Yeah, sodomy.
Yeah.
It should be.
Right. How can you?
It should be brought.
Hey, I'm just wondering how you can kind of legislate that, or how you can regulate when someone do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how you could crack down on that if it's not, you're not doing it out in the public, so to speak.
That's a good one. But if you legalize in homosexuality, same-sex marriage, you cannot push that sodomy, that law. You can't push it because that goes against the grain, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
I got a question for you, Martin, real quick. What makes someone who's gay different than someone who's straight? And then I got a follow up to that, but just a quick question. What makes them so different? Well,
they both human. It's just it's a sexual desire. It's an appetite. That's all. They both humans. They both walk. They both talk and all that.
Exactly.
So,
So if the only difference is your sexual act or activity, there's some things that straight people do that some churches wouldn't allow if the church knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? It's heterosexual behavior that's going on. It's scary. You know what I'm saying? And so how about, and I hate to bring back an old term, but just keep it in the closet, because guess what happened in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom. I don't want to know what you do. And so my problem is the push for the external validation. Okay, you gay, be gay, but why you have to promote it and broadcast it and then sit there and try to stand on me having to okay it or accept it? Why do you need so much external validation? Just be gay. And guess what? Because what I do in the bedroom, stay in the bedroom.
Go to that homosexual agenda. I need you.
I got to go to that tonight.
Chapter 13, homosexual agenda. It's all there. What you're saying, when you read it, you're going to be like, wait a minute. I promise you. It's getting to what you're asking. The legislation is in there.
Well,
nobody knew about it.
Let me say this, Dr. Sanders. And I heard a preacher say it a long time ago, about maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. He said, when you take God out of the government, it becomes a corrupt government. When you take God out of your life, you become ungodly as an individual. Let me say it again. When you as an individual reject God in your life, take him out of your life, you become ungodly. When the government put God out of the government, it becomes a corrupt government. And when something is corrupt, anything goes. That's all I want to say that point. I hope I said it right.
Well, brother, but I mean, there is a valid point. But my personal opinion, I think this is a Caucasian-backed agenda.
Yes.
Strongly.
Yes.
Because the root of it is across the breadth and length. I mean, this is stuff not going on just in the United States. And the United States is not going to be left behind by no other country. This goes on in New Zealand. This goes on in Australia. This goes on in all the countries. France. All these in the United States is not going to get left behind, being caught behind saying, hey, man, we behind time. So it's just not going to happen. And it's going to come down to what the brother is saying about, well, I guess bedroom of privacy. So it's going to come down to privacy. And then at some point in time, the churches is going to make a comment and say, well, I know, you don't want me to talk about what goes on in your bedroom, but I want you to know whatever goes on in your bedroom, it ought to be clean. Now, that's going to get you to thinking right there, because just like the brother said, but that's somebody say, well, what goes on in there? But if the preacher get up or the missionary get up and say, what goes on in there, it's supposed to be clean now. God told you to eat tacos and chicken. He didn't tell you to do all this other stuff. I mean, that's going to cut right down the heart of what some people feel they want to experience. So
that's if they respect the church, though.
Right.
That's if they respect the church. What we've seen is a movement away from the church. So people are not honoring none of that.
Right, but the thing of it is, everything you do is supposed to be godly. And if you want to go to heaven, then you got to refrain from doing these things. So I'm saying it's going to open the conversation to a lot of stuff.
Right,
now, it's just me saying that. So I'm just saying, but I'm listening to what you all saying, though. It sounds good.
Well, let me
make a lot of sense.
Hey, old timer, I agree with you. Let me just say this, and I'm going to bring it in church terms. The gospel goes in your bedroom. It goes in. The Bible said the word of God is sharp, powerful. It goes everywhere. We all know that. So it is sharper than two-edged sword. So the gospel goes everywhere. It tells it's like a instruction to teach you how to live on earth. It teaches us how to live. Those of us that want to accept it. Now everybody's not religious. Everybody don't believe in God and Jesus and Buddha. I understand it. Because you don't believe in a certain thing doesn't make it's not right. Let me just say that. Let me just say that. So I understand the gospel. It tells us how to live. It tells us what to do. It tells us how to eat. It tells us how to love our neighbor. It tells us how to treat our enemy. It tells us a lot of things. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible tells you everything you need to know. It does.
Say the
The
basic
problem is
instructions
that
before
nobody
leaving
want to
Earth.
read it. Basic living before
Basic
leaving Earth.
instructions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, the thing about it is that man's choice, you know, man's choice is going to be man's choice. But see, they don't understand. The Bible says, for the wages of sin is death. That's the scripture. Can't change it. So if you choose to want to do something, you can't put God in what you choose to do. That's against him. Because what you're doing, and I've said this, and Martin, I think you've heard me say this on my live broadcast before. Why are you bullying God? That's what I don't like about the LGBTQIA. You bullying God into accepting what you want him to accept. You don't have that right to bully God. You don't have that right to bully his son, Jesus Christ. You don't have the right to bully the Holy Ghost. When you walking on red line,
you know, they got the Queen James version of the Bible out. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And it's like, you all just want to rewrite history now. Y'all just, I mean, you'll see a lot of them in that community that are not religious. So they denounce a lot of that stuff. So a lot of them don't have a strong faith base. And so it makes sense. Okay, y'all living this lifestyle and y'all don't believe in God. Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you take the Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus know they're gonna lose their seats in the direct sense if they try to push that type of agenda. But if they push that agenda on a regular day, that everybody is a taxpayer and that they are endowed with unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, all this is run by Caucasians. And Caucasians take that and stretch it out to wherever they want to take it to. And their people, they're the one that's writing the books. They're the one that's got the doctors performing all these medicines and all this kind of stuff, giving you hormone shots. And they're the one that's doing all of this stuff. We kind of tapping into it, but our people is guilty of it too. You know, but what we trying to figure out on this phone is where is it coming from the age that it's starting until it gets up into where we figuring that out, because we don't want our young men. I had a cousin and I overheard some girls at the job and they said, you know, Reggie's cousin, you know, Michael, he's such and such. And and I heard some of them say, well, they would do something with him just to keep him from being like that. I mean, they don't want our young men to be like that. But our young people is getting into it. The door is wide open, and the Caucasians have knocked the door wide open to where if you say something about it, you know, you're gonna get fired off your job. You're gonna lose your seat in the Senate and all this kind of stuff. You know, all this stuff is out there now, and they pushing it to where you can't offend nobody. So now we got to fight back. We can't let them keep on fighting and winning. So we got to fight back, but we got to do it legally, just like they're doing. So they come right out with theirs. So we have to come right out, and we have to put people up there, and it's going to all go by the power of the vote. If the voting don't go in your favor, you're not going to get it. If it goes in your favor, then you got to keep it going, because another 4 years they're going to come back and revisit it again. So
on time. How did this with you? Do you know that they are now forcing a lot of things into everyone's lives, starting with the babies. They're going through it in school. They're going through it.
They signed a law in Illinois.
Yeah. Yes, they did. And then the thing about it, you got the Democrats that are supporting it, just like they do with abortion. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
Dr. Sam, I got a quick question. Do you know how did they gain so much power? Like, this is a minority of a minority of a minority. How is it that their culture, their agenda takes so much precedent over everything else we think or feel? Their opinion, their way of life trumps any and everything else. And if you go against it or speak out against it, you about to lose. You willing to risk financial gains, you know what I mean? Career stuff. Like, how did they get so much power?
Go back to that homosexual chapter 13. The legislature's right there. And let me tell you something.
Check that out, right?
Now they getting ready. They're getting ready. And see, this was a long time coming because years ago, it was already said, pastors, you're not going to be able to not to decline marrying same sex. You'll be thrown in jail. Now it's out there. Now they put it out there. Just a couple weeks ago, I saw on the news. They're making it now. They're making it a law where pastors must marry same sex people. Now they done got into the business between church and state.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That chapter 13 is going to tell you how that legislation was set up. It was quiet for years. It was quiet for decades. It was always there. But we, like Martin say, as the scriptures say, we perish from lack of knowledge. It's been there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it got
Can somebody
there.
explain?
Woodstock was doing things.
Can someone explain to me, like, let's look at the Catholic faith, and we see a lot of their, what do they call them? Not pastors,
Priests,
whatever clergymen. Right.
With the Catholicism. Okay.
Well, let me just ask this question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick. So, the priests are not supposed to have a wife. They're supposed to be pure.
They did.
I believe
they did.
And so the question is, the correlation between a priest and the high rates that we see of them molesting young boys. Is there some type of correlation between them not being able to be with women and express themselves that way, and then taking their trusted role in abusing these boys?
Let me tell you something. That's what I went to school for my doctoral degree in Catholicism, because I grew up in a Catholic school. The priests used to bury when it first started, because they run the world. They own the world. Everything comes through. The Catholic Church owns this world. They used to marry back in the day in their early church. They used to marry. But I'm going to sum it up for you. They were having so many babies, they were not able to afford them. So they had to change a little glitch in their doctrine. They did. And they stopped them. And they made them dedicated to only one thing, and that was serving God. A lot of the nuns, I went to St. Martin, St. Ambrose, and Corpus Christi Catholic School. And while I was there, I studied Catholicism in grammar school, because I thought that the nuns looked so cute. They was wearing their habit hats, and they were holier, and they loved the Lord. But then when I started figuring out that these women and they were beautiful women, they gave up all of that to be dedicated to God. But a lot of them got pregnant by the priest. Man's nature cannot stand alone, because it's a part of what God created, man and woman. Come on, a man walking around. Come on, let's be realistic. Men, you all love women. Women love men. So the thing of it is that
you can say that about a gay man. A gay man see a naked woman, he will get aroused. I don't care what he say.
You think? So
it's gonna happen.
So the thing about it, they robbed them of that, and that's why they ended up molesting, because it's animal magnetism inside of those men. It can't get it out. What you gonna keep doing?
But how is it that it was more so with the boys and not the little girls? Like, what I'm saying? How is it that it's all we hear about is the boys being molested by the priest? Is there some type of connection there?
You didn't think them nuns? You thought them nuns was holy for real? They mess with little girls.
Well, not necessarily the nuns, but all we hear about is priests and boys.
Yeah, but the nuns, they downplay the nuns because they don't have no power. The priest does, the father does, because in the Catholic Church, they don't have elders and ministers and deacons. They have priest, father, priest, and they have the Pope. The highest position you can get in the Catholic Church is being a Pope. Everything comes from
Rome. I guess my question is, why don't we see the priest? And I don't want to see it, of course, but why don't we hear the priest with the little girls? Why is it? Is something going on with they pursuing the boys?
They've been deprogrammed. They've been deprogrammed. They've been deprogrammed. Because see, when they had families back in the day, in the early church of their time, they had families. They enjoyed, but they had so many. The Catholic Church couldn't afford to take care of them. They couldn't. So they deprogrammed them into being dedicated to God and God only.
Hey.
But see, the Catholic Church has apostolic and Pentecostal teaching as well. Folks didn't know that because there's a thing now in the well, it's been there for centuries, but they don't talk about it. That women want to be not noted as being a priest,
and
that's on the table. It'll never happen.
All right, we're gonna get to close it out. I'll give y'all closing comments, starting with the old timer first, Dr. Sanders, then my West Side. We're gonna close it out. So we're not taking any more calls, people. Go ahead, old timer.
Well, I grew up as she did in the Catholic Church, all the way from all the way graduated from the third all the way through the 12th grade, and they had priests and they had the nuns, and she write about the position of the nuns. They stayed in the convent, and the priest stayed in the rectory. And whatever they told us, whatever you do, don't go by that rectory by yourself. Now I still remember the priest's name, and I remember the nuns. The nuns had on black. And anyway, what she's saying is all the way correct. But it was still said that the women were getting pregnant and so forth and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stories behind it. But I just feel that whatever it is that comes with the homosexual thing that is pushed all the way up to the top by Caucasians. And it's just, but I'm saying that we playing part of it too. So, how we going to detect this and find it out, it's out there. It's out there. We got to try to get people to stop from being like that. But I trust that all y'all gonna watch that movie Couple, and you'll have a little bit more insight on it, that it can be happening right under your eyes, and you would never know it.
Doctor,
so that's my thing. Check it out and see what you can get out of it. Enjoy the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Live, uncut.
That's it. Live, uncut, unedited. Hey, Dr. Sanders, make sure you type that in the comments too, what you want everybody to read about Okay, go ahead. You got your 2 minutes. Go ahead, Dr. Sanders.
Well, we have a lot to pray for. We have a lot to pray for. The Homosexual Agenda, Chapter 13, documentation tells us all that we need to know about what's going on. But one thing I'm going to say, Martin, we're going to be held accountable for not defending what is right. Because God created this world.
That's right.
And every time something go down and he get mad, he sends in his judgment. Judgment starts in the house of God.
Yeah.
If you don't stand something, you'll fall for everything.
Agreed. All right, Dr. Sanders. All right, West Sider. My West Sider.
Okay, I appreciate the show tonight. And, I just want to address something that one of the fans has said. They were asking why this topic was brought up. I think there's no conversation that is ever done. And oftentimes things need to be revisited. And I appreciate you revisiting it and it's taking the lead of whatever one of your fans wanted to go. And I think we had a good, healthy discussion. And nothing was solved tonight. We'll probably talk about it again. And I just want to say sometimes conversations are just not over with. It's just a continuation. And so I appreciate you doing that. And I enjoyed the show. I really did.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I agree with that.
Thank you. And I want to say lastly, I'm going to close it out, that we have to learn from one another. The Bible said iron sharpens iron. And my stance is sex is between a man and a woman. Anything outside of that is anti-sex. That's my stand, and that's why I stand at. Do I believe because a person desires the same sex that we should treat them differently for jobs, employment, services in the community? No. But it's the act that I'm against. That's what I'm against. It's not right. It's my belief, and I have a right to believe what I believe, and that's why I stand. Just want to let you people know I love everybody. I love the police. I love everybody. But I'm obligated and I'm bound by the truth to tell my brother the truth. If I know if somebody's standing behind that door, number one, to blow your brains out, as me as being a messenger, a person, I should warn you, if you go behind that door, this is what's going to happen to you. And history have taught us in the scriptures that God is unpleased, not only just with homosexuality, fornication, adultery, all of it. It's not tolerating none of it. And that's the truth, people. Like it, love it, wrong or right, it is what it is. The scripture is right. And I stand by the scripture. All right, that's it, people. Live, uncut, unedited.
Live, uncut, unedited.
Thank y'all so
Live,
much for
uncut,
tuning in.
unedited.
Y'all know what time it is.
Live, uncut, unedited.
All right, people. All righty. Put everybody off. Scripture is right. Old man here? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, people. I ain't in my live. I'm sorry.